This Memorial Day, shop one of Avocado's biggest mattress sales of the year and fall in love with sleep again. At Avocado, better sleep starts with better materials. Our certified organic mattresses are crafted without compromise, using high-quality organic materials that bring comfort and support into perfect balance. No polyurethane foams, no shortcuts, just a cleaner, more natural sleep experience that your body will appreciate night after night. So you fall asleep more easily, stay asleep longer, and wake up feeling refreshed and ready for the day ahead. That's sleep with purpose. This Memorial Day, discover what it means to truly sleep well. Upgrade and save up to 20% on our award-winning mattresses. Shop the Memorial Day sale now and get up to 20% off at avocadomattress.com or select retailers nationwide. Visit avocadomattress.com. That's avocadomattress.com.
Hello and welcome back to the Primal Potential Podcast. I am Elizabeth Benton. I want to tell you a little story from Monday night. So the kids were in bed, and if you have little kids, you know that's like that's like a whole category of life. Everyone is asleep. The house is quiet. I happen to have two things left on my work to-do list that I had committed to myself to get done. I got them done. And then in my mind, I was like, all right, now I'm going to pack the girls' lunches for tomorrow, clean up the kitchen, and I'm going to bed. Very reasonable, very adult. And then I thought to myself, you know what? It's early enough that I can do 2 replies to scholarship applications for the May Defense Foundations. They're on my list for tomorrow. If I do 2 tonight, it just makes tomorrow a tiny bit lighter. Doesn't really add much to tonight, but it makes tomorrow a little bit lighter. And I was doing that very intentionally in this practice of what can I do to make tomorrow easier or later easier? Because this line was rattling around in my head and it helps me so much. And that line is, momentum is its own kind of rest. And I actually would argue that momentum is one of the best kinds of rest. Not because you never stop, right? This is not a like hustle harder message. Trust me, if you saw my life, you know that's not my vibe. And it's not because like, you know, getting to inbox 0 is going to make you feel great. No. It's because a lot of what we call rest is not restful. A lot of what we call rest is creating more pressure later. So I want to start this episode with a question for you. What if the thing you keep calling rest is actually part of the reason that you feel so tired or so behind or so overwhelmed? What if the thing that you keep calling rest, the scrolling, the game, the TV shows, are actually a bigger part of the problem than they are a part of the solution? I have so much I want to say. I think especially those of you who feel overwhelmed or pressured or rushed or like there's so much on your plate, I believe you're going to get a ton from this episode. I want to make a quick announcement before we get into it. There's something new that I'm going to be doing called Fuel. It's free, all right? It is a Sunday newsletter via email from me to you purely so that I can put some gas in your tank going into the week, right? I want to send you something that sends you into your week feeling more capable, more in your own corner, more ready to make the week work for you. Because my sense is, and maybe you have a different algorithm than I do, my sense is that a lot of what's happening online is really draining. And we never get refreshed and refueled and people genuinely pouring into us in a way that's helpful. I say that as somebody who got off Instagram in December for that very reason. I reached at a point where I was like, this isn't making me better. This isn't like making me excited about my life. It's actually making me feel kind of discouraged. And so I want to be part of something that hits your inbox on Sunday and does the opposite. It gasses you up. It helps you feel excited about what's ahead, excited about your life, supported in what you can do to make a difference in your own circumstances and conditions. So it's called Fuel. There will never be a pitch in it. I'll never be like, and also buy this. Not going to happen in this Sunday newsletter. To sign up, you're going to go to elizabethbenton.com. That's never existed before, but it does now. elizabethbenton.com, scroll to the bottom. You'll see, just drop in your name and email address if you want to get that new coming soon Sunday newsletter, just to like add a little something to your tank. Okay, let's get back to this conversation about momentum being its own kind of rest. I feel like there's a lot of us walking around believing that we need rest, and we do. I'm not here to argue against rest. I love rest. I'm routinely in bed by 9:00, except on webinar nights. Like, it's not even surprising my husband would say if I'm in bed by 8:30. Truly. And I have 3 little kids. I'm not a hustle and grind, sleep when you're dead person. No, thank you. No interest. But when I say momentum is its not kind of rest, I want you to hear me and not think like, oh, Elizabeth wants me to do more. No. I do want you to address the reason that you feel so exhausted and overwhelmed. Because sometimes what we're calling rest is not restful. It might be escape. It might be avoidance. It might be numbing, right? The way that I'm thinking about this right now is not even like, is this rest or is this escape? Because the question is, does this equip me to launch into what's next, or does it make me less able? For example, if I lay on the couch and I watch 2 episodes of Love is Blind, I've actually never seen that show. Love on the Spectrum is one I've seen. That does not equip me to like get up and do what I need to do. It actually makes me less likely to get up and do it. Like, my husband is notorious for this. He's going to, do XYZ after he just lays on the couch for a while. And then you know what happens? He ends up asleep on the couch. And then when he wakes up, he's like, I'll do it tomorrow. So when we think about the things that we call rest, does it make you more able to launch into what's next, or does it make you less able? If I were to take a nap, that would make me less able. Some people are the opposite. If I sit outside for 10 minutes, I'm more able, right? When I go to bed at 9, I'm more able to tackle the next day with energy than if I stay up and watch 3 hours of TV and go to bed at 12. That makes me less able. Rest restores you. It equips you. It makes you more able to move into what's next. But a lot of what we call rest does the opposite, right? When we sit down on the couch and the couch becomes quicksand, right? When you sit down for a minute and then 48 minutes later, you've been playing a game on your phone and your brain's exhausted and you feel like a mud lump. If you're older like me, you know Teddy Ruxpin. Mud lump is a very accurate picture for what that can feel like. So many of us are coming out of what we call rest feeling like mud lumps. Feeling foggy, heavy, annoyed, behind, not restored, not equipped, not more ready, but less ready. And then we wonder why everything feels so hard. If we are not looking at, hey, momentum is its own kind of rest, but instead we're like, I just need a break. I just need a mental break. I used to be the queen of that. I just need a mental break. I just need a mental break. And then I wondered why I felt behind and overwhelmed. But we have time to check Facebook. We have time to check email. We have time to watch videos, click on one thing, then another, read comments about people in our town who are fighting about such and such. And we're not doing the things that would actually make life easier. And we convince ourselves that we are not doing them because we don't have time or we don't have energy, right? Whether that is the laundry, the food prep, the work. A lot of times the truth is I just am spending my time in a way that makes later heavier. And I have done that for a long time, so I'm not judging you. I've been personally victimized by just pressing buttons and scrolling and then saying, I just don't have time to stay on top of the laundry, when that's not true at all, right? If we keep calling it rest, we probably won't question it. And if we keep saying, I just need a break, we probably won't look at the impact. Make later lighter, right? Did I put this off in a way that serves me, or did I just postpone the pressure and maybe compound it? I love the phrase make later lighter. Momentum is its own kind of rest. And this isn't about your life being perfect, and this isn't about being a machine or optimizing every square inch of your existence, right? Just make later lighter. And that's what I was doing on Monday night when I responded to the 2 scholarship applications. I probably had like 20 to respond to. I didn't do all 20. I just did 2 because it makes later a little bit lighter. That's what I do when I come home from the gym in the morning. One of the first things that I do is empty the dishwasher, because it makes post-breakfast a little bit lighter when everything can go right into the dishwasher instead of into the sink. I don't know about you, but having 6 or 8 dishes in the sink feels so overwhelming. It just feels like everything's in chaos, and I don't like it at all, right? This is the part that we keep missing. When something we could do in 12 seconds gets put off, it then turns into a project, right? Putting a single dish in the dishwasher doesn't feel like a big deal. And in isolation, it's not. But when we repeat those types of things, it becomes a weight. You've probably heard me say this before, that it's easier to keep up than it is to catch up. And most of us are exhausted because we're constantly trying to catch up and dig out and get back on track and deal with the mountain of laundry or the pile of dishes or the inbox with 100 unread messages, the decisions that we've put off, the projects that we've put off, and we say, we're just overwhelmed. You've been handing everything to future you. Future you will handle it. Future you will handle it. Future you will handle it. And then you're calling it rest, and it's not restful, right? Okay, think about it this way. There's current you, and then there's later you, future you. And every single delay is either a gift or a debt to future you. Everything that you put off is either a gift or a debt, right? When we could do something now, a workout, an email response, and we put it off, that's like a debt for the future version of you, right? When we keep doing that, the interest rate is outrageous. And my husband and I are very, very different. He is currently running a very high interest loan operation against future Chris. I mean, oh my gosh. He is the king of, I'll do it later. I'll pick it up later. I'll clean it up later. Da 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 da. Future Chris, lot of high interest loans there. I am trying to get future Elizabeth into the best spot possible. And I don't mean that from like a health and fitness standpoint. I mean, I am always scanning for, how can I make this a little bit easier for future Elizabeth? Do I always succeed? Heck no. But that's the energy. That's the pursuit, right? I don't want to hand future Elizabeth a sink full of dishes, 3 loads of laundry, 40,000 unanswered emails, a to-do list that's only half done, and be like, good luck. I'm going to go watch one more reel about a dog who learned how to press buttons. Like, no. And I love my husband. We're just wired very differently. He's more likely to say, I'll do it later, but then I also get to see what that creates. And it creates pressure and frustration and overwhelm. And it doesn't have to be like that. And this does not mean that I don't ever get overwhelmed. I do. But my answer to my own overwhelm is, hey, momentum is its own kind of rest. So what do we need to do to make things as easy as possible for future Elizabeth? You know? And it's not because I'm better. It's not because I'm morally superior. It's because I've just been burned by tacking all of these obligations and responsibilities on future Elizabeth and then feeling really discouraged that she's buried, because it doesn't have to be that way. This is the lamest, smallest example, but there are ways that I can remove 4 steps from tomorrow morning, and tomorrow morning feels different. And my coffee is one of those examples. At night, I clean out the coffee maker, fill the water, grind the coffee beans, and I auto program the coffee maker so it's ready for the next morning. Such a small thing, but it removes multiple steps for future Elizabeth, right? If I don't do that, then when I come home from the gym, after I empty the dishwasher, I've got to dump out the old coffee grounds, fill up the water, grind the beans, clean out the pot, right? None of those things are hard. And that's what makes it so sneaky. Oh, it's no big deal. That's no big deal. No, you're right. It is no big deal. But when it compounds with a bunch of little things like that we could have lifted, then it becomes a much bigger deal. And every single time that I do that and I come home from the gym and the coffee's already made, it feels like a little gift. Like, oh, one less thing I need to handle. And that feels really good, right? Grinding coffee beans at night is no heroic act. I have time for that, even as a working mom with a lot on my plate. I have time for that, and so do you. Your life is never heavy because of one thing. A lot of times it's like the 1,000 small things that you think are no big deal to do later, but then you're carrying it. We did an episode on this recently about how links become chains, and this is a totally great example of how that shows up. anytime you can remove one of those things from later you're making it lighter. I want to paint a picture of what my like early morning looks like before work. My alarm goes off at 4:50. I'm usually out the door before 5 to go to the gym, home just before 6. I empty the dishwasher. I sort the laundry from the dryer, put away what's ours and then what's the kids' I bring upstairs after they wake up. I start their breakfast, feed the dog, make my bed, all these little things before 7. I'm no hero. 6 months ago, my mornings look different. But I've learned that momentum is one of the best ways to reduce the emotional weight of my day. If I don't empty the dishwasher early, then the breakfast dishes pile up and I feel awful. Like that doesn't feel good, right? Once they're in the sink, then everybody thinks like, oh, we just put our dishes in the sink. If there's no dishes in the sink, oh, look, people put them in the dishwasher. It's a little dish cult. When later I'm tired and there's 12 dishes, it might as well feel like 1,200 dishes, right? So this isn't like hustle culture, grind culture. This is just the little ways that momentum creates its own kind of rest. I want to be clear. Momentum doesn't ask you to do more. Momentum helps you carry less, and that is very different. There's a scene I talk about all the time from the movie Any Given Sunday with Al Pacino. It's this football movie. Al Pacino's the coach. He at one point is in the locker room and it's halftime. They're down. He's giving this impassioned speech to the players, and he says that football is a game of inches. And he says, on this team, we fight for the inches and the inches are all around us. And this is how I think about momentum being its own kind of rest. This is how I think about making later lighter. The inches are all around us. For me, on Monday night, the inches looked like 2 scholarship applications. I wasn't looking to like score a touchdown. I was just looking for the inches. The coffee pot, it's an inch. These little things. I had this moment the other day. It's so funny how we play games with our to-do list. I don't know, maybe I'm the only person who like tries to manipulate myself like this. One of the things on my to-do list was to respond to a woman about she wanted to sponsor our charity golf tournament. And so she had sent me an email with what they wanted to sponsor. And I was like, okay, I need to respond to her. That was on my to-do list. And as I got into her email, she was asking for a sponsor invoice. And there was a bunch of other things in the email. So I type out the response and I started to type, I'll get you the invoice tomorrow. It's like the way that we create a sequel for our tasks just so we can cross them off the list. Like, oh, I did it. I responded. And then I turn to the next page for tomorrow. And then I have like, send the invoice to da 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 da. Well, I didn't really complete it. I just pushed it off, right? Oh, well, now since I've put it up, like I had the ability to do it right then. And so I did. I caught myself and I said, hey, I can make tomorrow easier. I'm in the email right now. I have the time right now. It probably should only take me 2 to 3 minutes to create this invoice. And then I can actually cross it off without creating a sequel, email 2, the invoice strikes back. Nobody needs that sequel. So I took the extra 5 minutes, created the invoice, sent it, and then it was done, not fake done. Not I touched it and it has second life for tomorrow. Done. Sometimes we're not finishing tasks, we're just creating sequels. And then we wonder why it just feels like it never ends, because we don't end it. The other day, this is going to make me look so bad. Some of you are going to be like, oh my God, you're a slob. Who does that? I threw something in the wastebasket upstairs. I think I had a kid in the tub and 2 other kids were running around, and I tossed something in the wastebasket and I missed. And absolutely, I could have left it and dealt with it later. And you might be thinking, who would do that? Me. Me when my kids are screaming and, splashing water out of the tub and I'm trying to do 7 things when I'm halfway into the next task. And I was like, this is one of those inches. It's a fraction of a second to pick it up. Same thing, one of my kids carries a bowl of yogurt over to the sink. Okay, a fraction of a second for me to just rinse it out and put it in the dishwasher and not have it be something that I have to deal with later, right? You don't need applause. It doesn't have to be a big thing. In fact, the smaller the thing, the better, right? The inches are all around us. And once you see them, you can't unsee them. Tossing a load of laundry in because you're walking by the laundry room instead of being like, oh, I need to do laundry later. You're right here. It takes 60 seconds. Go, right? Switching the dryer when you hear it buzz instead of thinking like, I need to remember to switch that over later. Putting the dish in the dishwasher instead of the sink, putting the shoes where they go instead of kicking them off in the middle of the floor, right? Folding the pants and putting them away instead of tossing them on the shelf, sending the invoice now instead of creating the follow-up, Grinding the coffee beans tonight so tomorrow starts more smoothly. Responding to the text instead of making yourself a note, respond to so-and-so tomorrow. Like, just do it now. If you can do it now, do it now. I fill up my water bottle at night to take to the gym in the morning because it just makes that 4:50 a.m. wake-up call just a little bit seamless. The inches are not impressive. All right. I'm not bragging about the fact that I picked up trash or that I set my coffee pot at night, which probably a lot of you guys do. The inches are not impressive, and that's why we miss them. Because we're just waiting for something big that's going to change things. We're just waiting for some shape-shifting situation that changes everything, like the perfect Sunday planning session. No. Most of life changes in the inches, and the inches are all around us. And you might be thinking, if you're listening to this and you're like, I'm already exhausted, I can't do this. I'm not telling you to do more. I'm asking you to consider that part of why you feel so exhausted is because you're carrying the compounded weight of things that could have been lighter. There are legit seasons where life is heavy, right? Seasons of little kids and caregiving and grief and job stress and financial stress and sickness and all of it. This is not me saying you don't have a lot on your plate. This is me saying this is why this matters. Because when your margin is small, you can't afford to keep making later heavier. When you're exhausted, you need fewer piles, fewer sequels, fewer avoidable points of friction, fewer moments where you feel defeated by what past you left behind, right? Hi, who can't relate to that? Creating fewer moments where you walk into a room and feel defeated or overwhelmed or frustrated or angry or all of the above by what past you left behind. Momentum's not about adding more. It's about removing unnecessary weight for future you to carry. Some of you are thinking like, I have no margin. I get it. Right? If you have kids, you're caring for your parents, you have a demanding job. This is exactly why this matters. This is not advice for people who have nothing going on, right? This is not for somebody sitting in a silent house with a full-time staff and a candle burning while they're asking like, how can I optimize my afternoon? Like, no, this is for the person who has 3 minutes or 30 seconds, for the fact that you're already walking upstairs and you could have taken that stack of laundry with you, right? For the person who you're already in the email, don't turn it into a task for tomorrow. This is for the person who doesn't have a full day to like organize their life, but they do have 30 seconds to make later lighter. And those seconds matter, and they matter more than you think. Now, some of you, because I've talked to you, feel like my house is too far gone. 2 minutes isn't going to make a difference. And you know what I say to that? Prove it. I mean that in a loving way, but also seriously, prove it. Take 2 minutes whenever you have 2 minutes, 2 minutes here, 2 minutes there, and you do that for a month and you tell me it didn't make a difference. I won't hear from you, right? Because it will matter. And your house won't be perfect, but that's not the goal. You will feel different. You will not feel as overwhelmed or as powerless as overwhelmed you wants you to believe. Overwhelm loves to convince us that if we can't fix everything, there's no point in doing anything. That is a lie. That is all or nothing thinking at its worst. 2 minutes matters. 1 inch matters. One less thing matters. Hey, like I said, I had 20 scholarships to reply to on Monday night, and I only did 2. That matters. Because if I'm in that habit of like the little thing I can do, how can I make later a little easier? How can I leverage this idea that momentum is its own kind of rest? It feels very different. Now, some of you are going to say, well, like, I deserve a break. Yeah, you do. You absolutely do. But at what point did you decide that it's either capitalize on making later lighter or take a break? They're not mutually exclusive, right? Momentum being its own kind of rest does not mean there are no breaks. I factor breaks into my day because I know that my brain can't focus from 7 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon. That's just not how I'm wired. So it's not either we do this or we take breaks. I don't know where that came from, but that's one of the ways that we try to say, well, like, this isn't for me because, hey, breaks are important. Yeah, so breaks are important. Take breaks. That has nothing to do with this other thing we're talking about. The question is not, do I get a break or do I make later lighter, right? It's, how can I make later lighter? And also, if I need a break, take a break. These are not mutually exclusive. Before I sit down, I'm going to put the dishes in the dishwasher. Before I scroll, I'm going to send that email. I'm going to switch the laundry. I'm going to fold the laundry while I watch the show. Not because you don't deserve rest, but because you do. This happens not just at home. This happens in our work days. We take a 20-minute break to scroll Instagram or Pinterest or play a game on our phone, and then we resent the fact that we feel behind all the time. And sometimes the break is great, but did it equip you to launch into what's next, or did it make it harder for you to get into what's next? Because there are breaks that make me sharper, and then there are breaks that I come back scattered, tired, brain fog, and with the pressure of lost time. That's not rest, that's debt. That's not rest, that's debt. When I do this, what happens next? Not was I allowed, was I bad? Not everything is moral. Did it help me? Did it equip me? Did it make me more able to launch into what's next or less? The point here is not perfectionism. Like, yeah, you might walk into my house and there might be dishes in the sink or laundry that's been in the dryer since yesterday, right? That's okay. There might be a time where you just collapse onto the couch. That's not wrong, right? This is not about being a person who like never rests or never drops the ball. It's about becoming somebody who sees the small opportunities to make later lighter and takes more of them. That's it. That's enough. The goal is not to win every inch, but to start fighting for more of them. The goal is to stop handing everything off to future you, like future you is like an unpaid intern with unlimited capacity, because spoiler, that's not the case. Take something off her plate. And that's what I want you to think about today. Look for the inches. Look for the little things that you can do. Ask yourself, is there something I can do here to make later lighter? Sometimes when I go in to make myself lunch, I'm thinking about like, what can I do right now to make dinner a little bit easier? Or when I'm cooking dinner, hey, what can I do to make later easier? Oh, I can pack the lunch boxes right now while I'm standing here in the kitchen and I've got some downtime while the rice cooks. You know, when you're walking by the laundry, is there an inch here? When you're responding to the email, is there an inch here? That's the pattern. It's about the repeated choice to either gift future you or tax future you. Because either way, it's a gift or it's a debt. I want you to look for an opportunity to make later lighter. You don't have to do 50 things, but like one and then another. It's not meant to be a frantic thing, but a freeing thing. Momentum isn't pressure, it's relief. The feeling of like, oh, I'm not as behind as I could have been. Momentum is like walking into the kitchen and there's not dishes in the sink and the coffee's ready. Holy moly. What a difference. It's the feeling of opening your inbox and not seeing the 4 things you put off from yesterday. It's being tired at night, but not feeling buried. Momentum is its own kind of rest. And honestly, this is one of the reasons that I'm starting this Fuel newsletter. Again, it's totally free because I think we need more reminders like this. This might really land, but I guarantee you by tomorrow, you're probably going to have largely forgot it. We need the reminders, not more noise, not more pressure, not more stuff that makes us feel discouraged or behind, but something that helps us walk into the week feeling more capable, more awake, more in our own corner, and more ready to make the week work for us. So if you want that Sunday message from me, again, there will never be a sales pitch in that Sunday Fuel message. Go to elizabethbenton.com to sign up. Scroll towards the bottom. I think it's in a big blue box, blue and yellow maybe. elizabethbenton.com. Sign up for Fuel. No pitches, no pressure. Just me pouring into you before the week begins. Make later lighter. Momentum is its own kind of rest. Thanks for being here, guys. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating, leave a review, share it with a friend. I'll see you on the next episode.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Hey there, it's Wayfair here, where delivery and setup are as easy as a few taps on your phone. You're relaxing in an old hammock, scrolling Wayfair's app, when you spot it, a brand new patio set. Next thing you know, Wayfair delivers it right to your patio and sets it up. Oh, you need a new grill too? All right, Wayfair's got you covered. With Wayfair's Room of Choice delivery and fast expert setup on qualifying orders, life gets a little easier. Visit wayfair.com or the Wayfair app.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Marketing is hard. But I'll tell you a little secret.
It doesn't have to be. Let me point something out. You're listening to a podcast right now, and it's great. You love the host. You seek it out and download it. You listen to it while driving, working out, cooking, even going to the bathroom. Podcasts are a pretty close companion. And this is a podcast ad. Did I get your attention? You can reach great listeners like yourself with podcast advertising from Libsyn Ads. Choose from hundreds of top podcasts offering host endorsements, or run a pre-produced ad like this one across thousands of shows to reach your target audience and their favorite podcasts with Libsyn Ads. Go to libsynads.com, that's Libsyn ads.com today.